Hey guys, this is Javon with Audio Media Production Service.com. Today we're going to go ahead and go over the setup page of the Behringer X32. So you want to go up by the right hand of the screen, select the Setups tab, and the Global tab on this screen, it tells you the firmware update. System control, where you can reboot, update firmware, shut down the console. You can choose your sample rate of the console. You can do 48 kilohertz. If you choose 48 kilohertz, any of your WAV files on your USB recorder, if you want to use that as playback, will not play if they're in 44.1K. This is where you choose your synchronization if you want to do an internal synchronization or from your Cat 5 or your expansion card. The initialization of the console. Be wary of this. I would just leave it from the stock, the way it came out of the when you bought it. I believe this can cause problems if you accidentally hit the wrong thing. Next to that, you have the time and date. I really wish they would do military time. I don't think you can change it. But it is only military time. You can select the day and the month and the year. This is next to that, you can select the brightness of the screen. So we can dim the screen there. You can tab down. Hold on. Oh, I guess it's push the encoder in to get to the LED brightness of the consoles. LEDs like the scribble strips and things like that. Push the encoder again. You have the channel LCD contrast. So now you're changing the contrast, not just really the brightness. I recommend leaving about 50%. Moving on to the config tab underneath the setup page. There's some general settings on here that you can change and customize the board the way you want. We have confirm pop-ups. I recommend leaving those up just in case you had one of your scenes loaded up for the next band and you accidentally hit the go button during another band's performance. You definitely want that pop-up to come up and remind you that you just accidentally hit that button. So I would leave those on. I mean, you can turn them off if you'd like. There's view preferences. You can return to the last preference you viewed, or you can have the select follow your bank. So anytime you would hit a bank of a bank of layers, the select would automatically flip over to that. Or you can do auto select, and the auto select means when you move a fader, it would automatically select that channel you just moved the fader on. You got general preferences up here. You can change it to be scene, go to next. That's for your scene section. It'll automatically go to the next scene on the go button over here. Underneath that, we have the mute system. You can do hard mutes, DCA groups, invert the LEDs on those. Next to that, we have the show control. So you can have it bring up, when you hit the view button under the show control section, you can have it automatically go to the cues page, or the scenes page, or the snippets page. I usually only use the scenes page for scenes. I use snippets a little bit here and there, but not very often. So when I hit the view button, I want it to go to the scenes page. So that's why I have that selected. You can change the link preferences. You can do, I have pretty much the head amp, the EQ, the dynamics, and the mute fader All those are selected, so if I was to link 2 channels, it would link the EQ and everything. So if I change EQ on one side of the link channels, it would do it to the other. You have mono, depends on main, left, and right fader. I think if you push that in, that it'll follow the main, left, and right fader. You got a panning mode option, so you can choose left and right in mono, or left, center, right enable. So left, center, right enable, I think they work together. Left and right plus mono, they work separately. So if you want to do like a subs on an aux situation or a side fill situation, left and right mono would be the one you'd want. Next to that, we have bus pre-configuration. So you can go ahead and if you just get the console out and you got your own needs that you need for all your bus sends, you can quickly automatically set those up here, or you can do it on a per 2 bus out basis by selecting a bus out and then hitting the config/preamp section. So you can choose subgroup here, pre-post fader, etc. Let's go back to that setup page. Or if you say you needed, it's got some general preferences right there. So if you needed 8 post EQ bus sends, then you needed 0 subgroups, and then 8 effects post sends. You could do that there. Or you can do 6, 6, and 4 effects, which is 6 monitors, 6 subgroups, and 4 effects returns or effects sends. So you can quickly adjust and set up the board with that section alone, or you can do it on a per 2 channel or per 2 output basis. The remote section, this is all the protocol settings for your DAW remote. This is how you would customize all that section of the board. I'm not very familiar with this section, so I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about this. I've never hooked it up as a control surface yet. I only use the console for live sound. So I'm going to go ahead and skip that. The networks tab, this is where you would set up your IP address for your router if you wanted to run the console wirelessly. This is where you would customize your own IP address. And then, of course, you would have to, on any of the devices that you wanted to connect, you would have to match the IP address underneath, I believe, the app. You would match the IP address so it reads the console. And then, of course, you would have to go to your settings on the device and choose the Wi-Fi router you got connected into the console to get that hooked up. To the right of that, we have the Scribble Strip. The Scribble Strip, you can just get to it by hitting the setup page and then tabbing over to Scribble Strip, or you can hold down the select button on the channel you want to work on and then hit utility, and that'll get you to this page also. So you can, on this page, you can obviously choose color, pictures, little snippets, rename it whatever you want. Tab over, we got the preamp section. This pretty much allows you to set up your preamp gains. Local input, it will mirror image your A and D converters from your preamp for your local inputs. But if you wanted, I think it gets a little wonky when you have the S16s working. If you have the S16s working, they have a separate gain than the console. So I think you need to set those up first from this page to give you some preamp from your S16 boxes. And then you can still adjust the gain over on the config/preamp section. Next tab over, we have the card. So you can choose either your USB, say if you wanted to record onto a DAW, you can choose the FireWire port or the USB port on the expansion card in the back of the console. and you can configure it any way you want. Well, I guess not any way you want. There's 32 in, 32 out. You can do 16 in, 16 out. 32 in, 8 out, 8 in, 32 out. So that covers the setup page of the X32. If you like the videos I'm doing, please comment, subscribe, like, share, thumbs up, thumbs down. And if you have any other videos that you need to answer some of your questions, please let me know, and I'll try to get to them as soon as possible. Thanks.